For over the years, the debates over the need for the Nigerian youths to jettison the idea of white-collar jobs to solve rising unemployment rates in the country has raged. Now, the House of Representatives is considering a bill to discourage members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, from depending on white-collar jobs. To this end, the bill for an act to establish the National Youth Service Corps Trusts Fund has passed second reading in the House of Representatives. The bill, which seeks to provide a sustainable source of funds for the NYSC and corps members, was sponsored by Mayowa Akifolari from Ondo State. Julie, yes, it has been patterned. Our university system has been patterned through, the normal theoretical go to school and our course outline, how would I call it, syllabus was for a long years not developed towards entrepreneurship. But I remember as at 1999 when I went to camp, NYC now tried, teaching us how to be self-reliant, dependent, business skills and everything. I started as at that time. Now if they are trying to legalize it and make it, official, I think it's a good step. It's not everybody that will get this white-collar job.
No, and our destinies are different. Your destiny may be to become an entrepreneur and make it. My own destiny may be to be a journalist and be famous through it and even make money through it. Some people, no matter what they try, their destiny, no matter what they do, their destiny is to become successful farmers. Some people are creative, even scored first class in school, but they are, by their destiny and their talent, they are meant to be fashion designers. And if they do not pursue that line, whatever they do, they will not make it. They will just be struggling. They will be wondering, is it home trouble and all that. People must identify what really is best for them. NYSC, under the current DG, has pursued this line from different reasons. There is a particular corps member that left the service and decided to become an entrepreneur. That corps member is now an employer of laborers, employed dozens and dozens of workers and is thriving. The corps member benefited from this training that they give them during the service year, and look at the way he has blown, as our musicians say their slangs, So if that one can succeed that way and go to that length, young people, how old was the guy who started the Rocco TV? He was in his 20s. Young people can excel. They don't have to wait until I get this job at CBN, where they will pay me good salary. Until I go to debt management office, until I work in NNPC, where I will get extortionate salary. Until my father goes to kneel down for someone who will now help me to get into the police. It may not be your line. There are many people today who are in the police. They are not supposed to be there. They are not fit to even be policemen because they are people themselves who deserve to be policed. They are now policemen. That's not their line. So some people will probably do better even as cobblers. To be a cobbler is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
After all, we have Brazil. One of Brazil's recent president was a cobbler.
Yeah, it's not a bad.
So this is the thing. I like this idea, and I pray that the bill would ultimately be passed and the president will give his assent, because this is a very good one.
It's a good one because I like it. I happen to have monitored this same exercise in UNILAG. There is entrepreneurship center in UNILAG.
No.
It's been there for many years now, and you see the sheer number of people who are doing extremely well. And the university goes as far as even getting fund for them. Many of them have been patented in their innovations and so many things. So at the point I started feeling that even if we want to change our country, maybe we should try and modify our curriculum or whatever.
We cannot all get
yes,
those,
because the government cannot solve problem of
all. They can't do some
unemployment by
hard ways.
employing or giving handouts. So why not, inculcate this thing in our education system, that is entrepreneurship, training. Many of these graduates are creative enough to be everything they want to be. Yes, if they have the right training. So if the universities, the polytechnics, the federal government, the state government, all of them, including the private schools, they inculcate these things in them. By the time they get to NYSC will add to it. Believe me, the vast majority of them may not even like to be
most of them, they want to start looking for
interview because they want to join civil service and be collecting peanuts. They will say, no, the money that I will collect at the end of the month, I can make it in a day.
The market is here.
I know one NYSC person who left NYSC. The savings he made, he went to, I think Ekitiba, I remember, bought land and started farming and became big from the savings from NYSC.
All right. Okay, joining us from Abuja for more discussion on this is the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Major General Shoaibu Ibrahim. Thank you for joining us. We wanted you to shed more light into this. Yes, we wanted you to shed more light into this bill and the advantages.
Thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank the federal government and also the members of the National Assembly for their abiding faith and the NYSC necessitating the passing of this bill up to the second reading. The NYSC was established for promotion of national unity and integration. But we on our part, we realize that the challenge of unemployment, which is a global phenomenon, is not limited to Nigeria alone. And that's why the NYSC put on our taking caps in 2012. We established what we call the skill acquisition and entrepreneurial development program for our core members, where various skills in camp and post-camp training were introduced for our core members. And for our findings and our own monitoring, we have observed that thousands of core members who took advantage of the skill acquisition training have established their businesses. Apart from being self-reliant, they've taken off thousands of Nigerians from the unemployment market. So that's the reason why we said, look, if this fund is established, in addition to funding of the NYSC, we will get adequate funding for the training of these core members on entrepreneurship, and then startup capitals will be given to them as they exit the service. So as you know, we mobilize as much as 350,000 core members every year. If over 350,000 core members are given this startup capital to start their business on the skills they've acquired in the NYSC, you can imagine the thousands of Nigerians that are going to take off from the unemployment market. And once the core members who are digital, the graduates who are digital, and they are engaged, of course, it's going to address the challenge of insecurity in our country. A man that is engaged will not go and carry AK-47. And that's informed why the NYSC has taken up this gauntlet and also pleading with the National Assembly to see this is the logical conclusion for the assent to the president to be given. And I can assure you, millions of Nigerians will be taken off from the unemployment market because the core members that are determined, that they have the passion, they have the commitment to achieve their desired goals. And I want to use this opportunity to thank the Journalist Hangout for the abiding faith also you have had on the NYSC for supporting our programs.
Now, can you give us a few examples of some core members that you continue to get feedback from them who had decided to leverage on the skills that they had acquired in camp to set up business of their own and provide employment? Can you give us a few instances?
The instances are just too many for me to mention to you. Over 1 million of core members have gone through this program. And we set up a monitoring committee at the headquarter level. And we have interfaced. He's still talking.
Go on, sir, go on, don't stop.
Okay. Over 2 million core members have gone through the skill acquisition training. And if you watch our programs on NTA, NYSC Half Hour, every Wednesday by 7:30, you will have seen thousands of our core members, ex-core members, that have established their own businesses from the skill we've taught them in camp. We have one Shay who established a food juice manufacturing company in Lagos. He has over 1,500 outlets all over the country. He supplied the juice to the Federal Capital Territory. We buy them. There are so many. This Stephen Teru, and so on. You look, if some of the video clip, we will organize a documentary so that I will send it to the journalist hangout so they can please help us show to Nigerians to see what these core members have done. There are too many to mention. Recently, we have our SEED Festival, Skill Acquisition Entrepreneurial Program Festival, where the First Lady, represented by the wife of the Vice President, attended the function. And what they saw, the display they saw of items produced by core members, they couldn't believe it. And in fact, Her Excellency, the Vice President, rendered a song to the core members, that she sees them as princess and princess, so that and encourage them to sustain the effort. All that we are appealing to the federal government and the members of the National Assembly to sustain this effort to ensure that this trust fund is given. And I also to support what, I agree with what Kunle Yusuf also said, of the example you saw at the University of Lagos. Well, we on our part have also agitated that entrepreneurship training should be made compulsory in our tertiary institutions, so that once core members come, when they come to serve, so 2 certificates will be given to them at the end of the day from the university, certificate on their skills acquired and their certificate in the academic aspect. So when they come to the NYSC, we are going to deploy them accordingly, both in academic and skill. And their host communities, they will be able to impart this knowledge to them. I want to also, on a happy note, to let you know that most of these core members have established their businesses and have also employed thousands of Nigerians. They did not establish these businesses in their state of origin. They established this business in their state of service. In addition, promoting national unity and national integration. They see themselves as Nigerians and they provide their service freely to the host communities. There is one ex-commander, Shuaib Ibrahim, who established an aluminium company in Niger State. He has trained 5,000 indigenes of Niger State, and they made their services also available to core members in the camp, so that during the camp training, they also come to give back to the NYSC what they benefited from the scheme. And that's the wonders of this program. I can assure you what this thing says true. The challenge of funding, maintenance of our camp, building or expanding the camps, providing new ones, and so on, will be addressed. And that is what we look at it. And I can assure you also, it's going to also assist the NYSC to continue to tap the potentials of the core members. I'm sure you must have heard recently, we're already tapping the potential of the core members on our various ventures. You know, we have gone to film production. We have established several things so that the revenue we generate from these ventures and so on, we will declare to the federal government. As you are aware, we have generated over 1.2 billion naira, which we have paid to the federation account. And once this thing is done, we are just going to continue to tap on the potential of commerce so that it will bring revenue as their own contribution to our national economy and national development.
Okay, sir. What's your message for some Nigerians who are insisting that the NYSC has outlived its relevance, that it should be scrapped? What's your message for them?
My message for them, thank God, we have unveiled 9 books on the NYSC last year. So I want to challenge them to go and read those 9 books. And the 9 books covered all our areas of operation. And the core members are doing very well. Recently, during the strike by medical workers, federal government tasked core members to do the job. Core members were running the hospitals, both in rural and the urban centers. We have all the educational system. If you say there will be no more core members to teach in schools and provide health services, I can imagine the challenges we are going to have in the health and the private sector. Core members are involved in election. They are involved in census. Core members, as I'm talking to you, are involved in alternate education in Nigeria. And they also provide so many services to Nigeria. Go to rural communities and sample the opinions of Nigerians on the NYSC and see whether what you say is going to be negative. Me, as I'm talking to you, I was an ex-core member. And being a fan of the journalist hangout, I have once listened to Babajide and some of you who recount your experiences as core members. And you have all added value as core members. Myself as a core member made me what I am today. Because I schooled in Benin City, it's a core members who taught us history in the school that made me to adopt, to choose history as my course. And I'm an associate professor of history. I've been looking for that particular ex-core member to have to see if I can see him and thank him for ever making me for what I am today. So corps members are doing a lot and are contributing greatly to our national economy.
Thank you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, fellow historian. You and the Chief of Army Staff, your boss, you are historians, and it makes me happy that we historians are doing well in our country. But I want to ask you to throw more light on this revenue generation. How come the National Youth Service Corps is able to generate so much money? What were you buying and selling?
You know,
How did you generate this money?
yes, he's still talking.
Continue.
Yeah, answer. Just keep talking.
The NYSC will have what we call ventures. We have a table factory, water factory, we have bakery. You know, we have farms. We have farms. We are also going to film production. And also in addition to our integrated system. So all these things we directed at NYSC. I don't want NYSC to be seen as a consuming agency alone. We should bring something on the table as our own contribution to our national economy. And that is why all the revenue generated from these ventures will pay them to the TSA. So that the government should know that the NYSC also can do something and bring something on the table. Because I don't want us to be seen as just a burden to the federal government. And that is why all this thinking and ideas the NYSC generating is it also gave birth to the aspect of the NYSC Trust Fund. I can assure you, if this trust fund is given, NYSC is going to bring so much on the table to Nigerians. And the idea of unemployment will be a thing of the past to some extent in Nigeria, because these corps members are determined, they have passion, they are digital in nature, as I said, and just all they want is just the opportunity. Once this grant is this trust fund is established, the NYSC, the corps members are going to bring so much on the table for Nigerians.
I want to thank you, Major General Shoaib Ibrahim, and congratulations on your promotion as a Major General. Congratulations, General.
Thank you very much. And we want to, on behalf of the NYSC management staff and corps members nationwide, I want to thank the Journalist Hangout, because the NYSC is a fan of your program. We do follow it day in, day out. So I want to thank you and congratulate you for the good job you are doing.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, General.
Is the first DG of NYSC to get to that rank. Yes.
Major General. Okay, it has always been Brigadier General.
You always stop on Brigadier
General.
Yes.
Wow.
So he must be doing something special.
Something right, something nice.
And he said he has not missed promotion since his first promotion. He has never missed any promotion.
Shows talent.
And that he has never lobbied anything.
He's a good man. And he shows.
NYSC DG Major General Shoaib Ibrahim, we wish him the best of luck.